Gesenius, in his 1857 edition of his dictionary, he says, I suppose this word, referring to Yahweh, and earlier in the paragraph, he says, hey, this comes from the Samaritans, Yahweh, which is Yahweh. I suppose this word to be one of the most remote antiquity, perhaps is the same origin as Jovis, which is Jois, and Jupiter, meaning Jove and Jupiter, and transferred from the Egyptians to the Hebrews. So, what? So in other words, Gesenius is telling us we have two pieces of information here. We have a God, we have a name for God from the Samaritans, which is Yahweh, which sounds awfully like, which he believes would originally have been Yahweh, and Yahweh sounds awfully like Yahweh of the Latins, and we have so we have that. In other words, we have this statement by Theodoric connecting it to the Samaritan Yahweh, which he thinks is Yahweh, and we have this Latin god called Yahweh. He says these two things can't be a coincidence. It must be that both the Hebrews and the Latins come from some worship some ancient deity who was called Yahweh or Yahweh, and they both then separated into different places. The Latins went to Italy, the Israelites went to Israel, and they both continue to call upon this name with a slightly different pronunciation. The Latins as Yahweh and the Hebrews as Yahweh.
And he's suggesting that it came from the Egyptians?
And it came from the Egyptians, he claims. Now, he wrote this originally in 1833, and